Off you go. Best of luck, everybody.
Look, James.
Thanks.
Go, James.
Come on, James. Go, James. Brilliant stuff. Go on, James.
I've never done a stage race before. I've never raced before. I haven't done anything like at this level since I played GA. So like I haven't had to prepare for like something like this in a long time. And like it's not your typical training session, like whereas if you forget something small during your training session, it's not a big deal. Like this is a race weekend.
This is one crazy bowl of oats, man. Like there's so much volume in this. Like it's like this bowl is big, man. 160 grams of oats, blueberries, raspberries, some protein in there, and then a banana and a shot of honey on there as well. I don't think I've eaten a portion this big in my whole life. So inside in this, right now we're looking at 893 calories, 141 grams of carbs, so that's a nice shot of carbs to get us going for the day. And yeah, we have 43 grams of protein in there as well, and the fats are very, very low. So the aim is to keep the fats super low. So there's 3 grams of fats in there as well. So yeah, this is probably going to take me a while to finish. I don't know if I'm going to actually finish it all in one go. I might have to come back to this later, but this is going to be the first meal of the day. It's 8:15 in the morning right now. So yeah, let's start to try and get this down.
Friday wasn't really that nervous, really. It was just a case of like just kind of making sure I had everything ready to go. You know, I was more of just preparing everything and getting myself set up. You know, because if I forgot something, I was kind of screwed. You know, so I was ticking every single box, bottles, gels, everything, and then I was trying to be over prepared. You know, if I failed to prepare for this weekend, then you know I'm setting myself up for failure throughout the weekend.
So it's 11 o'clock now, and this is going to be my second meal of the day. So I'm having 2 lots of this. So this is a slice of bread, we got some raspberry jam, and we have a banana on here as well. So this comes about 330 calories altogether, and there's 100 grams of carbs in here as well. So we're actually doing pretty well. We're on 240 or something carbs for the day, which is pretty sweet. So this is very easy to eat. I think I might be having more of this later on as well because it's just so easy to eat. Like it's obviously you don't want to be eating, you know, dense foods. You want to get quick, easily digestible carbs, get them in.
I suppose doing a stage race for the first race was definitely a bit of a ballsy move, you know, to jump straight in the deep end. Like that's not for the faint-hearted, because even for seasoned races, like, you know, stage races are going to be difficult, like, you know, because you're racing back to back to back, you know, and I don't even do threshold sessions back to back, like, you know what I mean? You have a threshold session early in the week and you have a threshold session later in the week, so your high intensity sessions are always split apart, and you have rest in between, or like lower intensity sessions. Like, so racing back to back, it was definitely a bit of a ballsy move, and like it probably made more sense for me to do a one day event first and then jump into a stage race. Okay, so it's time to train. We've got a 1 hour session ahead of us now. So I was asking Darryl, like, what does he want me to do today? Yesterday he wanted me to just complete rest. Today now he wants me to do some kind of pre-race opener, he calls it. Okay, so essentially what this is, it's going to be 60 minutes zone 2, and it's going to be including 2 by 2 minutes at zone 4, and then 2 by 8 second high cadence sprints. So I want to spread them across the ride. So the whole spin's going to be an hour, and then I just have those things thrown in there as well. So it's pretty sweet. So it's a nice steady one for an hour. Joel, I'm actually glad that I can get out on the bike today after having this much food so far. So I'm actually repping new handlebars now. So I got these changed yesterday. So the reason for the change, the handlebars that I had, Owen Clifford really liked those handlebars, and he was meant to get the same ones on his new bike. So these are actually the handlebars from Owen Clifford's current bike, and he asked me would I swap them over because he ordered them, because these ones are like 2 centimeters wider. So like 20 mil, which is not that much, but like I'd rather Owen have his proper setup because I'm still kind of getting used to the bike, you know, so changing handlebars right now is not going to make a huge difference. So the rain has come out and it is super dull. So it's not the usual sunshine you see in my videos. I think nearly every video, every spin I've had like really good weather. So it's actually surprising that I don't have sun, because I haven't videoed in a couple of days now and it's been actually pretty nice. Today's been like the first kind of poor day we've had now, but it's not too bad. I got kind of soaked, but it's kind of held off now. It's just misty now, so it's not too bad. But we did our 2 minutes at zone 4. We did 2 of those, and now we just got 2 8-second sprints left and about 20 minutes left to the full session. It will be done, so not too bad at all. And it's crazy that these handlebars feel really different, like drastically different. I didn't think it would make much of a difference. I was saying to Owen, yeah, throw them on, no bother. I'll get used to them, it'll be sweet. But man, it's such a difference. I was doing some cornering there earlier at like a fast speed. I was like, whoa, these feel a lot different. I thought, you know, 2 centimeters wouldn't make much of a difference at all. But honestly, man, it's a big difference. So I'm going to do my 2 sprints now. I'm going to do 8 seconds and then leave about 5-6 minutes to the last 8 seconds, and then we're done pretty much. So yeah, it's high cadence, so you just spin the legs very, very fast. I usually like to just put the power through, but you want some high cadence ones, so we'll follow the plan. That's it. Like, I've last couple of weeks as well, like this is my 8th week of proper training to be a racer. So essentially I've spent 8 weeks training properly and I'm going to have my first race, you know, and things can change that fast, you know, but every single day I follow the session to the T. Whatever Dara has set for me, I've done it, you know, and I've been making the progress. I've been getting better, you know, and hopefully I can prove it now this weekend. And yeah, just get some good results. I'm not going in with any expectations. I just want to go in, learn, get better, and, you know, just trying to give my best self really, and just see where it goes. Like the whole aim of going to a stage race too was just like, I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to get a feel for racing and get a taste of it, and just start looking at the other guys and seeing if I was up to the pace and up to the level. Like, you know, never having raced before, never having done it before, like I hadn't proved to myself that I was capable of doing it, you know. And like I don't want to be too confident in myself until I've actually, you know, seen some results and proved that I can actually do it, you know. And I hadn't seen any proof that I was capable at that level. So that's what the whole weekend meant, was just about getting in there, dipping my toes into racing and seeing if I enjoyed it. there was thoughts in my mind. I was like, don't get dropped, stay with the pack, you know. But that was really the whole aim, you know. Come away from this weekend with learning, lessons, and I was like, I didn't even think about the results when I was going to the weekend. I didn't care like, oh, let's go for a podium or like let's go for a top 10 finish. I was just like, let's go in there and let's have some fun and let's just see what happens.
So this is our next meal. I have here 120 grams of cornflakes, so that gives me 100 grams of carbohydrates. I'm gonna have some milk with that. I'm not gonna eat it all in one go. I'm gonna eat it in like smaller bowls, just so that the milk like doesn't go warm. Because I love cereal with like ice cold milk, pretty much like super cold milk. So I'll have like smaller bowls with smaller amounts of milk and enjoy it more like that. I'll probably have 3 bowls of it, which is kind of wild. So that'll give me another 100 grams of carbs.
There was definitely a lot of unknown, nervousness, you know, and just kind of not sure what was going to happen, you know. The biggest thing that was on my mind really is like, was I going to be able to keep up with these lads, you know? Because I've seen racing and the speeds that the races are at. I've never even got close to those kind of speeds, even on a shorter spin, even in group spins, you know. And even during group spins, when we were doing much slower pace, sometimes I was fecked after. Like I came home after group spins with my local club. I'm like, geez, I'm absolutely bollocks. Like, so then when I seen the racing speeds, I was like, I was genuinely in my mind. I was like, there's no way I can maintain that speed. Like I'm questioning like, how can they go that fast? Like, I was like, is there that much of a difference between where I'm at and where they're at? Like I genuinely believe there was a massive gap, you know, and that's why I thought I had months of training left to even start racing, you know.
So this is the next meal. Again, it's super basic. Like I'm trying to keep the food super simple. Like I don't want to be eating this complex meals with like a bunch of different ingredients. Because the less ingredients that are in your meals, the easier it is for you to digest them. Because all these extra ingredients are just unnecessary. So basically what I have here is I have white rice and beef mince, some steak mince. So 100 grams of steak mince and then 300 grams of rice. So in here it gives us another 86 grams of carbohydrates. And the steak mince is just 100 grams, so we have 21 grams of protein in there as well. So then that brings my total now today to 4,274, and we're at 739 grams of carbs. So we're not too far away. If I can get us another 60, 70 grams of carbs in before the night's out, then I should be pretty good to go. But yeah, I'm not hungry. I'm not even looking forward to it. Usually I do look forward to my food, but now I'm just like, I just kind of have to eat it, you know. What I'm going to do as well, I'm going to throw a little bit of tomato ketchup on there. I already put some pink salt on there as well, and I'm trying to drink enough water as well. I think I'm at like 2.5 liters of water today. So if I just get another like couple of glasses of water in this evening as well, that would be ideal, and that'll pretty much be us done. And then the next most important thing is getting a good night's sleep. That's going to be the most important. If I can make sure my sleep is really good, because this is going to be the most taxing and the most tiring thing on my body that I've ever done, I'd say. I don't think I've ever done something so intense this many days in a row. Like it's going to be 60k, 90k and a 7k TT, and then we have another 70k on the Monday. So it's going to be pretty intense, I'd say. So I'm trying to just prepare for everything. Maybe I'm over preparing, maybe I'm overdoing it. I just want to make sure that I'm not cutting any corners here and making sure I'm doing things as best I can. It's 8:20 now and I've finally hit my target for the day. So what I ended up doing, I had two squares bars with that meal. So what I did after that meal, I had 2 squares bars, and I actually had a squares bar earlier on this morning as well that I didn't record. So I put those in, and now my total for the day is 4,694 calories, and we have 811 grams of carbohydrates. I don't think I've ever eaten that much carbs in one day ever. I'm feeling pretty full, and I'm also feeling fairly tired right now as well. Like I did do a lot of work today, but man, I ate so much food. I think it's the food that's actually making me like super tired. So yeah, I'll see you in the morning.
Saturday morning was like the morning of championship, you know, championship hurling. It's, you know, you wake up, I mean, you're kind of going about your normal day for the first morning, like, you know what I mean, getting the food in, again, loading up on carbohydrates, like the amount of food I had to eat on the Friday, Saturday and the Sunday and the Monday to make sure that I was properly fueled. Like sometimes I was thinking like, am I eating too much food here? Am I going to be feeling very sluggish or groggy on the bike? Like I even had food, how much I was eating down to the gram down to the hour of when I was going to eat it, like down to the minute I was going to eat it. There's times in the past where I haven't prepared properly and then things haven't went how they should have went. So I'm making sure that I am preparing properly so that everything's going right. Like Saturday, food all laid out today, what I need to eat, like 2 meals here at home. Then I'm having a meal while I'm driving up to Kanturk. Then I'm having the pre-race meal. Then what I'm fueling on the bike, and then after the race, and then even time to get to sleep. And then Sunday, same thing again. It's going to be an early start, so like 6:30 I got to be eating at 6:30 in the morning, and 8 o'clock then I got to have more food. 9 o'clock then, between 9 and 10 is going to be the TT. So I got to make sure I'm ready for that, and then straight after I got to be fueling again, because I have like a 4 or 5 hour window before the next race, and that's a big race. That's like 92 kilometers then in the evening, so I got to make sure that I am well prepared for that. And then obviously after that again, I need to refuel because we're racing again Monday. So Monday 7 a.m. start, food, 9 a.m. Another meal, and then 10:30 just a quick light snack before the race, and then 11 a.m. we're racing and on the bike. And then just getting some quick food in after the race, and then whatever I do after the race, I don't really care. I'm just making sure that everything is on point between now and the race. So once I get off the bike on Monday, once I get the last kind of proper drinking after the race, anything after that I don't really care what happens because it's going to be such a mental weekend. I'd say it's going to be like it's not going to be as busy as I think it is, but I just want to make sure that I am covering all bases, because you can never be over prepared, but you can definitely and very easily be very under prepared. So you know, when we did get down to Kanturk, we had to check in at the community centre, and that's where you get your pins, you get your numbers, you get your number for the bike, and that's when it really started to feel like proper official. Like that's when it was like, okay, this is real now. I'm pinning these numbers to my jersey, I'm putting this number on my bike. And that's when it really started to kick in to me. I was just like, wow, okay, this is happening now, you know. And it's from there it all kind of moved very fast, you know.
Got my official numbers, so this is actually proper official right now. So I was like the last person that signed up, because I actually had to text them to sign up because it was so late when I was signing up. So I am 136. That is my official number. So let's go. Let's hope it's a race winning number. And this is for the bike then, and they've given me like a bunch of cable ties and pins and stuff, and then there's also this kind of transponder thing they call it. So this is the yoke that I put on the bike.
I suppose once I got on the bike, once I got going, you know, getting the warm up done, just up and down the road, nothing major. Like Darragh was saying, you don't want to be, you know, flying yourself too much before the race. Like you don't want to be wasting energy before you even start, you know what I mean? You just want to kind of get warmed up, get yourself to a stage where you kind of feel your legs are kind of in a good groove, and then you're ready to go. Like.
Right, so what's your warm-up looking like today, so?
Just get moving. I think after the long ride down, all I just need to do is get used to being in a position. That's it.
Yeah, sweet.
You know when you're out training and sometimes you don't even have to do any efforts, there just comes that breaking point where the legs go from stiff to not stiff.
Yes, and you feel like a machine, yeah.
Yeah, you're just looking to get to that point.
Off you go. Best of luck, everybody.
Good luck, James.
Thanks.
It kicked off very fast. It was actually a very quick pace at the start, and something that was new for me. You know, I've never usually group spins here for a local club. It's like you start off steady, then the pace might ramp up a small bit, like, you know, but not from the start. It was kind of quick, you know, and there was a good few hills in this first circuit as well on the Saturday. You know, at times I was struggling, like, you know, trying to push up those hills.
Come on, James.
Man, what a buzz that was. I just got to my accommodation here now, and the first day's racing in the books, and it went really, really well. Like I'm actually surprised with how well I did. It was kind of like the league race that I did last Wednesday. So I did a league race Wednesday in Blarney. That was my first ever proper taste of racing, and then that went so well. Like there's a few lads were saying you should try and do this Kanturk race, and that's why I'm kind of here now doing this stage race. Like doing a stage race as your first race is probably not the best thing to be doing. You should kind of get some tasters with some one-day events, but we're straight in the deep end here. We're day one, and it's going pretty well. And I finished 12th overall, which was pretty good. Like, and to be honest, for the first 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, I was just kind of getting used to things. You know, it was moving at a quick pace. Things were happening quickly. You know, there's a few kind of little breaks here and there. There was 2 lads that went up the road fairly early that I didn't even know they went up the road. I presumed like the bunch that I was in was like, this was kind of the bunch, and this was where we were working like together or whatever. This was what was happening. I didn't realize that there was 2 lads gone up the road fairly fast. So it wasn't until like later on I was like, oh shit, okay, we got to chase these guys down. So I was once I kind of got into a good groove. It took me a while, probably 20-30 minutes, until I was like proper like on the ball. I was like feeling really good. You know, we went through a couple of climbs as well. I kind of had to hang on for a few climbs, and yeah, we did 2 laps of a 30-kilometer loop, so we ended up doing like 62k or something in total, or just over 60k. So that was fairly sweet. And like, to be honest, for the first third of the race, I was kind of near the back of the bunch, or like near the middle of the bunch. Like, I wasn't able to kind of get up to the front. But then as I kind of got into it, you know, I felt more confident and comfortable being in that bunch, because we're racing so close together. So I'm trying to like watch out for wheels, make sure I'm in a good spot. And yeah, once I kind of got more comfortable and more confident, I was able to kind of push on and trying to keep myself close to the front. And then if there's any kind of little breaks, I was right there and able to go with them. Like, doing your first ever time trial, like even just attempting your first ever time trial in a race setting is not ideal. Like, and that's exactly what I did. I was like, that time trial on Sunday morning, it was, in my mind, I thought it was 7.13 kilometers. That's what I had in my mind, and I was like, okay, let's drive it on. And I've never trained a TT, I've never done a TT before, never was used to the position really. You know, you might do a couple of attacks during spins where like you go get into a TT position or an aero position, but I'd never held it for, you know, 10-20 minutes and pushed like 300-400 watts, you know. So that was definitely something new for me. And I mean, I didn't do too bad, you know. I mean, it was a little bit raining. The circuit was kind of like a gradual kind of pull, almost like a falls flat kind of pull all the way, falls pull, I suppose you call it. And it seemed like a flat circuit. And then when it was time to go, he'd set out for me like the certain numbers to hit. I think I had to start like 400 watts for a certain amount of time, and then trying to settle into like, I think 360 or 380 watts then. And I was trying to hold those watts, but then there's times I was probably pushing a little bit too much. Like, there's times I was up over 400, and I was like, oh shit, I need to bring that back down. And so it was like I kind of gassed myself out too quick in that middle part, because when I got to the end, I was really starting to struggle, you know. And as well, the whole TT was actually 8-point-something kilometers. I think like 8.2 or something at the end. So there was an extra kilometer more than what I had expected. So this was probably poor planning on my part, not to like study the route better, because I was gauging how I was going to push my effort based off the distance, you know. And then when I was at like 5.5 kilometers, I think Dara said for the last kilometer and a half, just like full gas all out. So I'd pushed probably full gas all out for too long, too early. And then yeah, that last kilometer just kind of really caught me off guard. But again, I'm glad I was able to get through it. I think I finished 24th overall. You know, not too bad for my first TT. You know, I probably should be doing better than that with the power that I have, and someone like me is probably more suited for doing time trial racing. The third stage, second race, was the starting in Bantier, and it was reasonably dry for the start. You know, it wasn't that wet at all. But once we got started, once we got going, and this route as well was a very flat circuit. It was a very flat circuit, so it would have suited me down to the ground. And definitely it was a possibility for me to get my first top 10. You know, and that was the goal for that race, was to go in. Let's try and finish in the top 10. That was the whole aim. You know, let's finish in the top 10, not knowing what was going to happen. You know. So that race was a complete monsoon, like it was a complete washout. Like I've generally never felt so wet in my whole life. Like I was completely drenched after about 15 minutes or so. And as well, you're just like, you're almost drinking the water that's coming up from the bikes in front of you, and it's not a nice taste at all. It's a very unique taste. Yeah, I went through the standing water and I felt that boom, felt the rim. I was like, that's not good. I was like, oh man, that's not good. Like, I was looking down at my tires. I was still moving along, you know, for the next 20-30 seconds. I was like, oh man, there's no way I survive this, is there? There's no way this wheel keeps going, is there? And yeah, lo and behold, the wheel started to get soft, and I was like, fuck man. I was watching them pull away. I just, you know, slowing down and just watching everyone pass you, man. It's defeating, man. You know, it's frustrating. There's a lot of emotions going through you right now, like, you know, because in my mind I was so comfortable. I was like, yes, this is a race now I'm feeling very, very comfortable with, you know. There wasn't that many breakaways. The pack was kind of all together, so it was probably going to finish with a bunch sprint. And that's how it did finish. It finished with a bunch sprint after, so I definitely had a chance to get a somewhat decent result there, you know. And so as I was stranded in the middle of the circuit, literally halfway around, about 7k into the circuit, and the thing is, like, everyone just went past, all the cars and everything went past, so I was just standing on the side of the road, like, as if you're out on a endurance sprint on a Sunday on your own and you just get a puncture. It's like, that's what it felt like, except I had nothing with me. No gear, no tube, no phone, no nothing. And then it was absolutely lashing rain down on top of me. So I was just standing there. I was like, fuck, what do I do, you know? Because I was worried then, like, if I don't finish this race, like, I'm not going to be able to race again tomorrow. And I was just like, it was so frustrated. So I looked at my Garmin. I tried to figure out which, because it's a loop, so you do a loop back to the start line again. So I was trying to figure out which way would be fastest. Should I walk this with the way the race is going, or should I walk back to get back there fastest? Because there was no one around, there's no one I could call, like, so I just had to walk back myself. Yeah, when I got back, I suppose my whole aim was like, am I going to be able to race tomorrow? Like, what's going to happen? Can I race tomorrow? So I was trying to find the organisers and find the people in charge and see if I could race, you know, seeing as I had punctured out, you know. I didn't finish most of the race. I think it was like a 70-kilometer race, or I think about 70 kilometers, and I'd only done like 22 or 23 kilometers of the race, you know. So I mean, it probably would have made sense if I wasn't to race tomorrow. But I was chatting with them and they're like, look, we'll see what we can do. And yeah, they just said, just turn up tomorrow, tog out, and you should be okay. I think because there were so many people got punctured that day, like I don't even know how many out of a race. Like, I saw 2 guys, and apparently there was more had punctured out as well. And even in the C1 and C2 races, there was a lot of punctures too. So maybe that's why they kind of let the lads back in, because there's so many punctured out. But it did say in the race manual, alright, that, you know, if it's mechanical, you can start the next day. So I suppose puncture is that mechanical. I suppose it is. So I mean, I am lucky. I suppose I was able to start the next day. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, sweet. Let's just get back to it. You know, make sure I get my food in, rest well tonight, and let's just go again tomorrow and just see what we can do. You know. And I suppose I wasn't desperate. You know, I was just kind of, it's just another race. You know, it's just another chance for me to go out and get some racing in my legs, really, like, because that whole weekend was about getting racing into my legs and just getting used to being there, really, and racing. So I suppose Monday was kind of the same approach. It's like, look, you're lucky now, you can race now. Yesterday was obviously the lowest you've ever felt on the bike, but today's another opportunity. Now let's just go and see what we can do. About 8 or 9 kilometers anyway, there was 2 lads broke off the front, and I was near the front at that stage because I was getting kind of ready for anything that could happen, or maybe a bunch sprint at the end, or maybe even just try something myself at the end. I wasn't sure what I was thinking, really. I was just kind of in position just in case anything did happen, you know. And those 2 lads went. A friend of mine, Dean O'Brien, who was second in GC, he was like, James, go, man, go. So I kind of just put the foot down. I sprinted after those lads. I was pushing like 1,000 watts there at one stage. I really had to work hard to catch those lads. And then when I was with them, like, there's no let off the throttle. Like, you don't just ease up. Like, you've got to, like, we've got to push on now, like, you know. And since when I left the pack and went with those lads, it's kind of like something else took over. Like, it's kind of this, I don't know, it was all this instinct, and it all just happened just so naturally, like, you know what I mean? I wasn't forcing anything. I was just like, I was part of the breakaway. We were working together. You know, the legs were feeling great. So I knew exactly the full distance of the race. I don't even remember it now, but I think maybe it was 83k in total or something. So I knew how many kilometers we had left to go. And I was looking at my Garmin. I was like, okay, this is just, if you just 15 minutes, all you need. I was telling myself 15 minutes, 14 minutes, 13 minutes. Hold on, keep pushing. You have it, you can do this. You know, I really had to be like that in my own head because we were going at some quick pace. The closer we got, that's when it was in my mind. I was like, holy shit, I can get a podium here, you know. I can finish top 3. That was what was going through my head. Like, I wasn't even thinking about winning at that stage. I was just so overjoyed to be in the top 3, you know. I was like, holy fuck, I can finish top 3 here. Like, we had Vinnie Gleeson. He's I think he's like an ex-national champion, like, so he's a very experienced racer. And then there's also Jason was with us as well, another young buck in the peloton. And yeah, I suppose Jason didn't know what he was doing. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. So Vinny was kind of like, you know, helping us, making sure, you know, 20 seconds at the front, let's keep rotating. And then we kind of got into Kanturk Town in kind of the last kind of kilometre or so, maybe 1500 meters. And then Jason tries to kind of pull away. He's at the front. Vinny's very smart. He's staying at the back for those last kind of 2k or so, not trying to tire himself out, getting ready for what he did at the end. And yeah, Jason tried to kind of pull away from me. He tried to drop me a bit. He almost did. But I just about stayed on his wheel. And then I saw we were just kind of coming up into the last corner, coming into the town before the finish. Vinny just takes off from behind me. I'm like, oh fuck. So again, just instincts. I just like went. There was no like hesitations, like, oh, will I go after him? No, it was just kind of it happened. I just kind of went. But he was gone so quick. You know, I had to really work hard to stay with him, and he definitely had at least 10-15 meters on me there at one stage, coming into that last little finish. But then once there was a little bit of like a snake kind of a turn on the last corner, and a few of the lads had said you want to take that like a straight line, and that's when you set your sprint. So that's what I did. I went through that corner like a straight line, and I just put the power down. And this is my whole thought process when I'm doing this. I'm like, you sprint until you see God or the checkered flag. There's this quote probably from some NASCAR driver or something before.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
That's what was going through my head, is like, you sprint until you can't sprint no more. And I just absolutely put the power down. It's hard to put this feeling into words. Like, I'm passing him. You're full of like so much. I've never been in this position ever before, or not for a long time, when you're so full of adrenaline, when you're so maxed out almost as well, you know, but you're able to kind of push one little bit more, and you're crossing the line. There was a nice few people around as well, you know, and you're like, you just won the fucking race, man. You're like fuck yes, you're like, come on. And man, I don't know how to describe it, like, you know what I mean? It's something that you just have to feel, and I hope everyone gets a chance to get that feeling at some stage, like, you know. And like, I know I'm not going to get this feeling that often, you know, so that's why I've got to enjoy this, you know, and soak it in.
Oh, Dickie boy, we did it!
Oh,
Well done, boy. Thanks, boy. We did it for Bandon, boy. We did it for Bandon. Oh.
Well, James, first race.
First race.
How does it feel? First win.
Race, first win. 12th on Saturday. I thought 12th was unbelievable, but first place, I don't know. Wow. Oh, I'm just so grateful for this, right? What a day for it. Oh, I don't know what to say, boy. Oh.
Lost for words for once.
No, I'm so grateful for everyone supported this journey as well. Everyone's been supporting me, driving me on, and we've got our first win on our first weekend. So
again, it's mad. It's even like finishing 12th. It was such. I achieved so much. Like, I was like, finishing 12th was a massive deal, and like finishing first. This is probably what they mean when they say lost for words. Like, it's, you know, I had no expectations coming to this race. Like, my whole aim was to stay with the guys. I didn't know where I was at, like, you know, and I was genuinely thinking, like, months down the line, you know, maybe towards the end of the summer, the end of the season, you know, I might be good enough to maybe push for a podium, you know. That's where my thought process was, you know. It's probably the biggest roller coaster of a weekend I've ever had. because it was such a high, 12th place, TT decent enough, decent enough, to then puncture, not knowing if it was going to be the race, then being able to race. I was like, okay, sweet, let's race again, and then first place, and it's just like, man, it's the biggest thing I take away from this whole journey I've been on, like zero to racer. Started off like just me being a complete newbie to cycling, not knowing anything about racing. I still don't even know that much. Like there's so many other people who know so much more than me. Like I still see myself as a complete beginner, I just have happened to win a race, and it's just like, just because I win a race doesn't mean I just go from beginner to like expert pro. Like that's not how it works. Like I still got so much to learn, and what it's really taught me is that, do not ever be afraid to reinvent yourself and try something new, because me coming from the GA world, like I've always seen myself as a hurler, a footballer, and I suppose you're kind of stuck in that identity. I was kind of in the gym, almost just bodybuilding and just trying to become buff and big. But yeah, you never know what you have, you know what I mean? And I didn't know I had something on the bike, you know what I mean? I didn't know I had this in me, I never knew I was going to be a race winner. I never knew I had what it took to win a race, and I suppose if I didn't put myself into that position, I'd never know, and how many people are out there who have, never tried it, how many people have never got on the bike and took racing serious for, 6-12 months. Like I was ready to take this serious, like I was locked in. Like if you've seen my series for the last 2 months here on YouTube, I've been locked in. Like I was ready to commit 6 to 12 months before I seen even an ounce of success. Like I told my coach Dara, I was like, man, I'm here for 6 months minimum. Like I'm all in for 6 months, because that's how long it takes to make some progress. Like you have to be willing to commit for a long period of time to see any form of progress, I mean, this doesn't really change my whole mindset, my whole approach. Like, yeah, I've got to win. Like, who really cares? I'm still wanting to get better and keep improving, I mean, that was probably the whole goal of the whole series, was to get a podium in C3. I mean, that's done, but that doesn't really change what I'm doing, It's still working, still getting the sessions done, still trying to improve. And I suppose for the rest of the season is just try and get as much racing in as I can, race as often as I can. If I can get some more good results, that would be tremendous. that would be epic, man. The Sunday morning, or the Sunday before the race started in Bantier, I think someone had asked me like, oh, what's your plan for today, or what's your goal for today? And I think what I said to them was like, I'm only here for the vibes, you know what I mean? I'm only here for the fun of it, Well, I suppose in my mind I was like, I was going for a top 10 finish, like, but I was also here to have fun and here to enjoy the process, like, and here to enjoy racing and just have some fun with it, and still lost for words, but yeah, let's go. I'm done. I think that's it.